Well, listeners, what's on my mind this morning is this sexual harassment scandal at Edna Manley College of the Visual and Performing Arts, which you may have heard about over the weekend. It was the lead story in the Sunday Gleaner this past weekend, and they've had a couple of follow-ups. There was one in the Gleaner yesterday morning, and there's one that I started reading for you this morning as well. There's more to it. It's downright disgusting, Dennis, and even more so to hear all these reports that complaint after complaint after complaint was made against this particular male teacher, and nothing was done about it. And this is a situation that spans years. So it's not just yesterday. This has been going on. It's been going on for several years, and it was allowed to continue unabated with no disciplinary action being taken, as far as I can tell, not even a meeting with the alleged perpetrator, and with new victims to the slaughter every year. Can you imagine each new enrollment of August comes like fresh meat for this particular person?
That's what it sounds exactly like it is, the individual.
And then it's triply disturbing to know that this prestigious institution is run by 3 women.
Oh, yes.
So the principal is Dr. Nicolene DeGrasse Johnson, and the 2 vice principals are also women, Carrie Ann Henry and Dr. Trudy Ann Barrett. Well, these 3 women seem to have adopted the stance of the 3 monkeys, Dennis. The see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil monkeys, blind, deaf, and dumb to the situation, willingly so. And what annoys me, well, there are many things that annoy me, but this particular thing, many things that disgust me, this particular thing annoys me about this ordeal, is that I have a sneaking suspicion nothing was done because it's only a little talking. You understand what I'm saying? Just sexual harassment isn't taken seriously because it's part of our culture. You know, many of the allegations are that he made innuendos against the students.
Okay.
He said particular things to them that made them uncomfortable. And the lecturer is alleged to have said, well, we're all of age. We're all grown people here, so I can say these types of things to you. And that was his disgusting justification for his rude jokes and innuendos, telling female students, I can't wait to sleep with you. No, man. But from what I've been reading, though, these allegations go beyond just words. The words are the tip of the iceberg. This lecturer is also alleged to have demanded sex for grades. You read the story, Dennis?
I read yesterday's story.
You didn't read the Sunday Gleaner report. He's also alleged to have demanded sex for grades. And no, that's extortion. That is extortion, because sex has been used as currency for centuries.
Certainly.
And if demanding money for grades can be considered criminal extortion, then demanding sex for grades is too.
Absolutely.
And that should also be a criminal offense, in my opinion. Now, there are also allegations of sexual assault, and these include unwanted sexual touching, such as groping and kissing. And perhaps because nobody has cried rape, at least not yet, these allegations haven't been taken seriously. But unwanted sexual touching, especially by a person in a position of power at an institution, ought to be treated extremely seriously. Now, let me read some more from the story this morning that I didn't get to in the paper route, because more alleged victims have come out. So it says here, even as the board is set for what could be a tumultuous Tuesday for Edna Manley, more persons have been coming forward, including a report that implicates another male teacher. I have a 15-year-old daughter. 15, you know. So the justification can't be in this case we're all adults. I have a 15-year-old daughter who started out doing Edna Manley's summer programs from before she could hardly speak. You know, they do summer programs for kids. So you must know how young she was, one parent wrote in an email to the Gleaner. Anyway, last summer, 2018, one afternoon after camp, I went to pick her up as I would usually do. She was visibly distressed. So too were her friends who were with her. When I asked what had happened, she began telling me that a summer school teacher had assaulted her, touched her inappropriately, while whispering in her ear and calling her his girlfriend. The parent said she immediately went to the police to make a report. The mother said she went to the school and her daughter was withdrawn from all of that lecturer's classes. The mother said she decided to come forward after reading the stories in the Sunday Gleaner, adding, I didn't take it further because I didn't want my already traumatized daughter through the court system. And that's an all too familiar story.
Yes, very much.
Now, for her part, it's another student now, Sauna Richards, who attended Edna Manley between 2013 and 2017, where she graduated with a bachelor's degree in fashion design, said she too was sexually harassed repeatedly by the lecturer at the center of the Sunday Gleaner's expose. I first met him in my first year, where he openly made sexual suggestions to me and other girls, revealed Richards, who gave the Gleaner permission to disclose her identity. One day while I was in his office, he started to tell me what he wanted to do with my body. So I got up to leave. He cornered me against the wall and tried to kiss me. I wriggled free and left his office in a hurry. I always blamed myself for going to his office in the first place, she said. And I see the look on your face of disgust, Dennis. And indeed, it is a disgusting situation. And you know what? I mean, the whole thing is terrible, but the saddest part of that student's story just now is what she said at the end, that she blamed herself for going to his office in the first place. As women tend to do, this is what we do. We blame ourselves for the wrong behavior of men. And perhaps because she knew his reputation before going to the office, she might have had an inkling that something like that could happen, so she blamed herself when it did.
Which always happens with women.
Exactly, but a student shouldn't be afraid to go to a lecturer's office for school-related matters.
You see, and therein lies a challenge with this whole claim that we're all adults.
Right.
Because the challenge with that argument is that he's an adult in a superior position of power.
Exactly.
So even if the person was 30 years old, it's still inappropriate in the context of the education system because he is in a superior position of power.
Indeed.
Therefore, you are unable to negotiate on equal terms.
Indeed. And then the fact again that Edna has done nothing about these multiple allegations over the years is extremely disappointing. They're just now rushing to try to meet and appear to be doing something. You know, the Gleaner reports that the board is to meet today to discuss the matter.
You know what's also worrying? The fact that I don't know who this person is.
Well, they haven't named him in the article.
But it sounds like the article comes out on Sunday, and everybody at the school knows who it is.
Obviously. Everybody would know who it is, because if these allegations have been going on for years upon years, complaints, but everybody knows who this person is. And so now they're rushing to try to appear to be doing something. The board is going to be meeting today over these multiple allegations of this vile person. And this predator over the years has been allowed to continue to use Edna as I can only describe it as his personal savannah. You know, where he can just find easy prey unimpeded. You know, there's supposed to be an investigation into the lecturer's behavior, but I think it should go beyond that to look at who knew what and when as well, because how many complaints were filed against this person over what period of time, and sanctions ought to be applied against those who did nothing for years as well. They are just as culpable.
I'd love to hear his side, though. I'd love to hear his side. In the spirit of justice.
And transparency.
Yeah.
And fairness. That's what's on my mind.